One Zambia, One Nation. Thank you so much for joining us for the news. To present it, I'm Michelle Olubinda. The headlines. Over 9.1 million kwacha to be spent on dam construction. Rural Electrification Authority commissions Salamano Grid Intensification Project. Kamalata wants teamwork between provincial administration and Lusaka South Mount Facility Economic Zone. Plus, Zambia Council for Social Development expects increased social sector funding. The news in detail. Over 9 million kwacha is expected to be spent by government on constructing Changula Earth Dam in Chibuyunji District in Central Province. Chibuyunji District Commissioner Alfred Shaputu says government through the Ministry of Water Development and Sanitation has commenced the construction of the dam, which will be used for irrigation, animal watering and recreation.
Government has commenced the construction of Changula Earth Dam in Chibuyunji District of Central Province. The dam will provide much-needed water storage and irrigation for 15 surrounding villages in Nampea ward of Chibuyunji District. Changula Earth Dam will be completed in a period of 12 months and will have a storage capacity of 300 million liters of water. Speaking during the site handover to the contractor, Chibuyunji District Commissioner Alfred Shaputu says the dam marks an important milestone for the district.
My people, there's nothing better than this. This is what you have been crying for. And the HH's government has answered. I think that's what we need. So I want to assure the contractor that will stand by you. These are headmen who are surrounding here, and they have heard what I'm saying.
And Nampea Ward Councillor Mike Luputa says the dam is expected to improve food security in the area.
I stay near this place because they'll be able to do some economic activities here. Yeah, so, and as I said that this is office that we need to employ locals here.
Meanwhile, Central Province Provincial Water Development Officer Matthew Simfukwe had this to say.
This work will be done at a cost of 9,167,121 kwacha 34 ngwe. The contract duration is 1 year.
And Senior Chief Shakumbira says he is happy with the development.
Everybody will be very happy and they'll benefit a lot. I know those people that are good gardeners. They produce good okra, they produce cabbages. So this is to give another advantage to them to continue producing what they have been doing in the past. It will even put the scale of production high.
Changula Earth Dam is a significant project that will have a positive impact on the people of Chibuyunji District. Tina Kawamba reporting for Zanis in Chibuyunji District, Central Province.
In Northern Province, government has constituted a team to establish the cause of low water levels in one of the streams from Lake Chila, which supplies water to Isanya Coffee Estate in Mbala District. The team of experts is led by Northern Province Permanent Secretary Bernard Mpundu. Let's get the details in the following report.
This is Isanya Estate, one of the coffee plantations of Northern Coffee Corporation Limited, sitting on a 500 hectares in Mbala district. The estate, which irrigates its plantation using water from Lake Chila, is experiencing low water supply attributed to the low water levels on one of the streams, which is an overflow from Lake Chila. Northern Province Permanent Secretary led the delegation to understand what is obtaining on the ground.
What is that? Lake Chila is not spilling enough water into Cheche, where Olam taps the water for irrigation into the farm. Where that Olam is only a farm which is 500 hectares in Mbala. It employs up to slightly over 4,000, both contractor and those on a permanent basis. So if they fail to irrigate crop or the plants this time around when it's falling, then it means that there will be no profit.
Rahim Banda is the Deputy General Manager for the corporation.
For irrigation of our coffee, we solely depend on two streams. One of them is Mbulu, where we've got water right from Wama for about 5,000 cubic meters per day, and the other one is Locheche, stream where we've got 4,000 cubic meters per day. Now, the situation that we are having now, which we discovered about 2 weeks ago, we saw that the water levels were becoming low. We were able to fill up our 9 storage dams where we've got the majority of our pumps in order to pump into our pivots.
A team of experts has since been constituted to assess and establish the source of the problem.
We have asked WAMA to go into it tomorrow full throttle to measure the content, how much water is available.
Taonga Nkoma for Zanis in Mbala district.
In Lusaka province, Lusaka District Commissioner Rosa Zulu has handed over boreholes worth 55,000 kwacha to residents of Monkolo Ward in Lusaka's Kanyama constituency, donated by the Muslim Social and Welfare Trust. Ms. Zulu says the provision of safe and clean drinking water to the communities is a priority of the UPND government.
The challenge of water in Monkolo Ward in Lusaka's Kanyama constituency is being tackled by the government through partnerships with stakeholders. Lusaka District Commissioner Rosa Zulu commended the Muslim Social and Welfare Trust for donating 2 boreholes worth 55,000 kwacha in the area to residents of Monkolo Ward and the New Apostolic Church for accepting to be custodians of one of the facilities.
These are our partners. You can imagine, they are Muslims, but they understand our problems. Whenever you knock on their door, they always answer, and we appreciate that. If we had put the door at someone's home, they'll just close with their office and say, no, this is mine. That we know as a church, we are going to look after many people. A lot of people will be serviced by that, from that same door. Therefore, we appreciate you because you have said no if you want it.
The Muslim Social and Welfare Trust has been drilling and sinking boreholes across the country to supplement government's efforts in providing clean and safe water to community members.
This is our borehole number 1202. As we know, water is life and everybody needs access to clean, safe drinking water, which is one of our fundamental beliefs, or I would say fundamental works which we do and serve for the community.
The Lusaka East Area Apostle under the New Apostolic Church has called on the public to exercise their faith in God. He was speaking during the dedication service of the newly constructed church building, where Lusaka District Commissioner was in attendance.
God knows you, God knows me. He knows us even better than we know ourselves. So He grants us that which is befitting to us at the right time. And so Scripture says, He makes all things beautiful at His own time. Be now patient children. Wait upon Him. Trust Him. God is faithful.
As a church, it is not your role to condemn, but to talk on behalf of the people. When you see things are not okay, as a church, you can pause, here, we can do better.
Mijalo Mwemba reporting for Zanis in Lusaka.
More in the news, the Rural Electrification Authority, REA, has commissioned a 2.1 million kwacha Salamano grid intensification project catering for Kitwe and Mvulira districts on the Copperbelt province. Tovin Ngombe reports that Copperbelt Province Permanent Secretary Augustine Kasongo, who graced the event, said the project is targeted to benefit over 200 community members.
Residents of Salamano area in Kitwe and Mvulira have commended the Rural Electrification Authority for connecting them to the national grid. The residents are happy that the provision of electricity will uplift their lifestyle and enjoy life just as the people in towns. They have done a great job for bringing electricity to us, and now we shall be able to access the goods we have been lacking.
I'm thankful for the provision of electricity. because we were lagging behind in a lot of things.
Rural Electrification Authority Chief Executive Officer has urged the residents to protect the infrastructure.
Momone government icho lefu achakwe bati ido bale tamala ichipano kwa makwata obuyantanshi wakubati mune kwata kotuma kwebo abakusambira bale sambirira bwino ngefe bachiranda ba DC mwasambirira ICT.
Government want to bring development by bringing electricity so that people can learn well, and I urge you to protect the infrastructure as it is yours. Copperbelt Province Permanent Secretary Augustine Kasongo, who commissioned the project, informed the Salamana residents that it is government's desire to ensure rural areas have access to electricity.
The project we are commissioned today is shared among two districts, namely Kitwe and Mufulira, respectively. This project thus demonstrates the new dawn government's commitment towards achieving universal access to reliable energy for all citizens. The project is expected to bring about socio-economic benefits for a catchment population of 16,000. This last mile connection project was undertaken at an investment cost of 2.1 million kwacha.
Kitwe District Board Secretary is also cheered with the development.
Connection of this school to the national grid, guest of honor, we will see a lot of change to our school. Number one, our teachers will have more time to prepare for the learners to have quality education.
Connecting rural areas to the national grid will indeed contribute to more citizens having access to electricity and adding value to the national development. Tovini Ngombe, Zanis, Kitwe.
China and Zambia have held various bilateral talks aimed at enhancing relations between the two countries. During the official talks, President Hakainde Hichilema and his Chinese counterpart Xi Jinping discussed a range of issues of mutual interest that will benefit people of Zambia and China. According to a joint communique issued in Lusaka today, the two presidents recognized the importance of exploring their own paths of democracy suited to the needs of the people in the two countries. Zambia thanked China for the key role it played in the debt restructuring process as the co-chair of the Official Creditors Committee under the G20 common framework. While in China, President Hichilema engaged with China non-ferrous metal corporations to strengthen support in the mining sector. The president also called on the Chinese Royal Corporation to collaborate with Zambia in rehabilitating and enhancing the integrity of the Tazara railway line. Meanwhile, the Chinese government has applauded Zambia's historical political stability, peaceful and friendly relations with other countries in the region. The Chinese government further underscored Zambia's achievements in the economic development, which are aimed at improving the livelihoods of the citizens. And the Chinese government encouraged more businesses from that country to invest in the various sectors of Zambia's economy, including manufacturing, mining, energy, agriculture, trade and investment, among others. We take a break, and when we come back, works on the new Chipili District Administration block progressing well. Stay tuned.
Life is a journey full of varied experiences. Can we reach our desired destiny? Can we achieve our desired goals? If yes, then how? Join Juliet Mutale on Thursday at 18:30 hours on How I Made It, a program that highlights various success stories from different personalities with different life experiences and backgrounds. Catch Zanis TV on Channel 6 DTT and Channel 458 DTH. Zanis TV, the People's Channel.
Welcome back. Works have advanced at the 1.6 million Kwacha Constituency Development Fund funded new administration block at Chipili Secondary School in Wapula Province. A project monitoring check by Chipili District Commissioner Wendy Chipewa and Council Secretary Alex Zulu reviewed that the ongoing works are progressing well. Details in this report by David Ndovi.
On a new administration block at Chipili Secondary School, have reached an advanced stage. The construction undertaking follows severe damage rendered to an old administration block when a storm blew off its roof. The new structure is being constructed under the Constituency Development Fund following a request by the school for help when disaster struck the old administration block, as explained by the school head.
2021, when we had a strong wind and heavy rains, the administration block, as you have seen, it blew off. Having no office to operate from, I was operating from outside, we decided to write to the government.
And the Chipili District Administration is happy that the CDF is taking its support towards issues and problems that need attention in the district.
We have welcomed the project and are very much happy about the new Don government with its projects.
The local authority gives insight over the project.
We are at Chipili Secondary School, where there is a construction of a school administration block, which the school has been asking for in a long time. They've been operating in one of these structures that you can see behind me and on my right side. That has been dilapidated for a long time now. CDF responded to that call and decided to give them such an administration block at a cost of 1.6 million kwacha, which the contractor is on site now, and the works are satisfactory.
David Ndovi for Zanis.
And construction works on the first ever Mpolokoso Trades Training School is nearing completion. Minister of Information and Media Permanent Secretary Kenneth Kalunga visited the site and was impressed with the progress made so far. Japhet Munkondia has more in the following report.
This is the first ever trades training school in Mpolokoso district, which the government is constructing at a total cost of over 60 million kwacha. The completion of this trade school will equip young people in the area with the much needed skills which will help in uplifting their livelihood. Minister of Information and Media Permanent Secretary Kenneth Kalunga visited the district to appreciate some ongoing developmental programs in the area.
Training school should be where people live. This also will help out parents, because parents now will be able to send their children here. It will be affordable, and those that cannot afford, they will be able to apply from CDF to send their children here. This is very, very good, and as government, we are happy with the work that is being done here.
Charles Ngandwe is Mpolokoso District Works Supervisor.
By 30th September, we should be able to obviously wind up with all the works on site. And of course, apart from those that I've mentioned, we also have the component of the roads, those that will be linking all these facilities to this site.
Mpolokoso District Commissioner explained the importance of this project once complete.
Our youths from here, they go to to Kasama for skills development. But since this project is now completing, what we look forward is to sending our youths to this institution so that they can have the much needed skills to use in the implementation of CDF.
The Permanent Secretary also inspected some of the projects being undertaken using CDF before departing to Luapula Province on other duties. Reporting for Zanis in Mpolokoso, I'm Japhet Munkondia.
Meanwhile, Lusaka Province Permanent Secretary Robert Kamalata has called for close collaboration with management at the Lusaka South Mount Facility Economic Zone (LSMFES) ahead of the 2024 Lusaka Exposition. Mr. Kamalata stressed that there is a lot of developments going on in Lusaka Province that need to be brought to the attention of the general public by the provincial administration, which cannot be achieved in isolation. He has meanwhile commended Mainland Laboratories Limited for the investment in the pharmaceutical industry within the MFES, where various pharmaceutical products are packaged before distribution to various outlets. Details in this report by Lou Majila.
We were actually authorized by Cabinet to hold an investment expo in the year 2024.
Lusaka Provincial Administration has started engaging stakeholders ahead of the provincial exposition scheduled for somewhere within the first half of 2024. Lusaka Province Permanent Secretary Robert Kamalata, accompanied by his Deputy Permanent Secretary, Alex Mapushi, led various heads of department from the provincial administration in a familiarization tour of the Lusaka South Multi-Facility Economic Zone to appreciate the developments taking place there.
MFAS sits in our province, and therefore we should see what exactly is going on. And today we decided to take a familiarization tour with my provincial heads of department to see what goes on here. And we are so excited with the developments that are taking place here.
Management at the Mylan Laboratories Limited, a pharmaceutical company toured by Permanent Secretary and his entourage, appreciated the visit and took time to run the delegation up to speed with the operations of the pharmaceutical company.
So we are bringing the guys from India, our plants, the parent plants, training them locally, and they are going back.
And Lusaka South Multi-Facility Economic Zone Limited Managing Director Kennedy Mwila outlined various developmental projects at the park located in the southeast of the Central Business District.
We are creating a city that does not exist at the moment. The city is premised on green principles. Located in the presentation talk about the green city concept.
Management at the multi-facility zone were happy with the interaction.
Thank PS for coming through, because remember this is a development that is happening in the province, and the knowledge of PS is very important for us to be able to achieve that which we want, because we have to harmonize our planning, harmonize our thinking, because we are working for just one country, one citizen.
Lou Majila reporting for Zanis in Lusaka.
We continue with the news. Government is working hard to ensure that there is a good road network even in rural areas. In Mufumbo district, government is constructing 4 bridges costing 700,000 kwacha from the disaster management component of the 2022 Constituency Development Fund CDF. Patson Mlaicho now reports.
According to President Hakainde Hichilema's recent speech of the third session of the 13th National Assembly, one of the important projects that the government is undertaking is to construct bridges and roads in the areas of need across the country. In Mfumbo district, the government has already started constructing bridges and crossing points that negatively affects residents who face challenges of crossing streams and rivers to access education, medical services and markets for farm products during the rain season. From the 2022 CDF allocation, disaster management component, the district has started constructing 4 water crossing bridges in 4 different wards, namely Matushi, Kamawuta, Kalambo and Chizela at a total cost of 700,000.
We are currently in Matushi Ward at Sachenda Bridge. This is one of the crossing points that was identified under 2022 CDF disaster component. 4 crossing points were picked to be worked on across the district, and this will be an ongoing process. We keep on identifying crossing points each and every year. So 700,000 was allocated for the 4 bridges to be worked on.
Mufumbo District Commissioner explains the stance of the government.
We want to make sure that all these crossing points every year we are reducing to improve the well-being of our people. So when we identify these areas, which was very difficult for school-going children to access education services, expectant mothers to access health services, we said no, let us come up with an initiative using disaster component through the office of the DC.
The contractor gives a time frame of completing the project.
1.5 a week. And to 1 week
Indeed, projects like these ones will address some of the challenges people face, especially during the rain season. Also, for Zanis in Mfumbo district, Northwestern province.
In health news, Chilanga Cement Limited Company has donated a mobile clinic and 30,000 kwacha cash to Mother of Mercy Hospice in Chilanga District. Chilanga District Commissioner David Shaleni says the donation of the mobile clinic marks a significant step towards addressing the many health challenges in the district. Mr. Sheleni noted that government remains committed to supporting initiatives that warrant quality health care for all. Details in the following report.
Providing social health protection and equal access to quality health care are significant positive effects which can contribute to economic growth and development of the country. Chilanga Cement has made a donation of a mobile clinic and a check worth 30,000 kwacha to Mother of Mercy Hospice in Chilanga district to help bridge the gap in providing healthcare services in the district.
The initiative highlights our belief in health, safety, and awareness as our core values, and the power of collaboration and completion in bringing positive change to those who need it most. Guest of honor, Mother of Mercy Hospice has been providing care to the community for years, and we hope when hope or help today will help them continue the good work in our communities.
Chilanga District Commissioner David Shellen says government remains committed to supporting such initiatives that help improve the healthcare sector.
The donation of this mobile clinic marks a significant step towards addressing the many health challenges in the district, and will undoubtedly transform the way health care is delivered to hospice patients. Government remains committed to supporting initiatives that align with our shared goals. This mobile clinic is not just a vehicle, it's a symbol of care and progress. It signifies the change that is possible when the public and private sectors collaborate for the greater good.
Sister in charge at the hospice had this to say.
Today we stand at the threshold of a new chapter in our journey. A chapter that has been made possible through the remarkable generosity of Chilanga Cement. Ladies and gentlemen, the challenges we face in providing quality health care to our patients are not insignificant, especially in our remote and underserved areas. The arrival of this mobile clinic signifies a significant turning point in our ability to serve those in need. This mobile clinic will be a bridge that connects our patients to the health care they deserve.
Chilanga Member of Parliament, Sipo Lazo, made this appeal.
Chilanga is blessed and is blessed amongst the districts in Zambia with so many industries and companies operating in it. But not all companies are participating in the corporate social responsibility. I therefore appeal to these companies to identify areas where they can make a contribution, even in part, such as water sector, education, health, just like the way Chilanga Cement has done today. Every contribution will make a difference.
Zanis, Chilanga.
We take a break. More news when we return. Stay tuned.
Hello. It's time for you to know your rights. For ignorance of the law is no defense.
People should report any case of gender-based violence to the police. They should not be tempted to compromise the cases, because compromising a case of gender-based violence is actually an offense.
Zambia, like any other country, has got laws that govern the welfare of its citizens.
We provide some oversight on the police service.
When an officer misconducts himself, he's alone. One person being beaten is enough for the commission to move. The Constitution tells us that the people of Zambia must enjoy their liberties.
Every week on Thursday at 19:30 hours, the Zambia News and Information Services, Zanis, brings to your screens a program dubbed Police and the Community.
If we, the police, and you, member of the public, will work together, because the common enemy we have before us is the criminal.
Catch Zanis TV on Channel 6 DTT and Channel 458 DTH. Zanis TV, the People's Channel.
The Zambia Council for Social Development, ZCSD, says it expects government to increase funding to the social sectors in order to meet regional and international agreements and also address developmental inequalities that still exist in the country. Giving her expectations in the 2024 national budget to be presented to Parliament on 29 September 2023, ZCSD Director Leah Mitaba says the organization expects more funding in the health, agriculture and education sectors, and Monze District Budget Group has high expectations of the 2024 national budget. Frederick Macha has more in the following report.
With exactly 13 days before the much anticipated national budget is presented in Parliament on 29th September, some Monze residents and civil society organizations have expressed their prospects from the budget.
Would like to see a budget that is for poor, a budget that is going to reduce inequalities, and one of the tools that the government actually has at their disposal to help reduce inequalities, the high levels of inequality, is actually the CDF. CDF in its current form has got potential to reduce high levels of inequality in the education sector, in the health sector, but again in the socio-economic sector. So we hope that this budget is going to be able to speak to it.
Ms. Mitaba also encouraged the government to translate the national budget into local languages for all Zambians to fully understand it.
We're more than 50 years old. Why should we still just be receiving the national budget in English? Can we translate it into Tonga? Can we translate it into Bemba? So that the ordinary people, I know that people from the community budget groups will be happy to interact with the budget speech. So we're expecting to see a translated budget speech.
For the Monze community budget groups, their dream is to see their national budget submissions being actualized.
In Monze, never had any district hospital. We are now requesting for the construction of the district hospital in Monze through the Ministry of Finance and the National Planning. The only hospital that we're depending on is a mission hospital, and right now it is overloaded. It has a lot of patients. Then we're also requesting for construction of public library in the Monze district. We all know the importance of public libraries. There's need for this so that either young or old would go there and do some form of research, because this time the world has gone digital and we need people to come up with researched ideas. We are requesting also for the construction of the multi-facility sports complex.
It's our expectation to say that let the CDF also be increased so that a good number of youths we can find something. And apart from that, I think as youths in Monze who've been applying for training skills center, a good number of youths who've not completed our schools.
Frederick Macha for Zanis News in Monze District, Southern Province.
Vice President Mtalina Lumango says there is need for African countries to harness democracy in order to support the tenets of good governance and fulfill the aspirations of the people. Mrs. Nalumango expressed concern with the instabilities that are going on in some parts of Africa, some of which are rising from coup due to leaders changing the constitution to fit their own will and some disregarding their own constitutions. She said that such have not only led to instability within the democracy, but also impacted negatively on the development of nations. Mrs. Nalumango noted that people of Africa decided to take the route of multipartyism, explaining that real democracy should have room for assurance to society, unlike what is prevailing in some African countries. She was speaking on the sidelines of the 2023 East and Southern Africa Regional Governance Forum and the Democracy Day Roundtable, when former President of Sierra Leone, Ernest Bai Koroma, paid a courtesy call on her at her office. Meanwhile, Dr. Koroma commended the efforts by government to achieve good governance. He said the decision to host the conference in Zambia was based on the achievements of the country and its leadership.
Democratic governance is not as easy as we would want to say. And you are the right person because you have walked that path. There are lots of challenges that come when you are in the position you were, and yet you overcame them. Your brother, who is in China now, who would have definitely loved to have met with you is trying to walk the talk of democracy. Because we are seeing what is happening on our continent, Your Excellency. It's not me to brief you, you are better briefed. But Your Excellency, what is happening right now on our continent is we should be ashamed that there are coups, back to coups. Africa seems to be going backwards. The people of Africa had decided to go back to multipartyism. And democracy, real democracy, should have room for that kind, so that people know they will be patient enough, even if the governance seems to be turbulent. They will be patient to say there is a time. But now we are seeing something else.
And that is why I consider this forum very important. And I believe having it in Zambia is not accidental. It is in recognition of the role Zambia has played over the period. The democratization that have been shown, at least, is one unique country that have not been through the experience some of us have been through, and the neighbors have been through, of civil wars, military coups and others. And more so, we are having it in a conference that is named after a personality in Zambia that has stood and fought for good governance, the protection of not only Zambians but people in the neighborhood. So it is not only timely, but it is uniqueness, and I think it is appropriate. So we hope that the outcome of it will contribute towards determining the new trajectory.
The Nature Conservancy, TNC, has signed a memorandum of understanding with 4 Zambian agribusiness private sector partners on enhancing access to markets. And the United States Agency for International Development, USAID Mission Director, Peter Wobler, says the agreement to increase the income and resilience of 6,900 families living around the Kafue National Park who rely on farming and beekeeping for their livelihoods. Speaking during the Eastern Kafue Nature Alliance (EKNA) MOU signing with 4 Zambian companies in Osaka, Mr. Wubla said the EKNA will provide training in organic and conservation farming practices and high-quality seeds for legume crops. Mr. Wubla stated that the training is necessary for the private sector as they need it to make competitive consumer food products. And the Nature Conservancy Country Director, Rob Munoro, said the Eastern Africa Nature Alliance is a $2.3 million United States partnership funded with $10 million from USAID. Mr. Munoro stressed that the alliance has also received support of $11.3 million from private sector partners, with the key private partner being Mushingashi Conservancy. Meanwhile, Community Resource Board's representative Jonathan Mwetwa thanked TNC and USAID for their support. Mr. Mwetwa pledged CRB's commitment in working with traditional leaders and communities to scale up community awareness about linkages between the TNC and conservation farming and biodiversity conservation. Unscrupulous people in Petauke district in Eastern Province are alleged to have swindled 125 smallholder farmers a total sum of 375,000 for fertilizer suspected to have been stolen. The people, purported to be members of the Petauke District Farmers Association, engaged farmers who later deposited the money into their account as part payment for the fertilizer loan they are giving to farmers. Headman Chenjelani Yobe Banda of Chief Kalindawalo in Petauke District told Zanis in Chipata that each farmer paid 3,000 kwacha for 8 bags of fertilizer and agreed to pay the remaining balance of money after the harvest. The traditional leader said the fertilizer which farmers had received was discovered to have been stolen from Beira in Mozambique. He lamented that it was sad that some farmers sold their livestock to raise money for the fertilizer, which has now been withdrawn from them with the aid of the police but without compensation. The village headman is worried that if the situation will not be resolved, some farmers will not have inputs to use for the forthcoming farming season. The traditional ruler has since called on government to move in and intervene in the matter. And when contacted for a comment, Eastern Province Police Commanding Officer Limpo Liwali confirmed having 3 suspects in police custody in connection with the fertilizer scandal. Still in Eastern Province, the Chadiza Magistrate has commenced trial involving a case in which Rodwo Banda, aged 18, is suspected to have raped Winfrida Piri, also aged 18, in a boarding house in Taferansoni area of Chadiza District in Eastern Province. Facts before the court are that on 24th March 2023, Banda went to a boarding house and sexually molested Piri, a grade 9 pupil of Love Village in Chief Mulolo's area. The act is said to have been committed in full view of witnesses who heard the victim calling for help. The witness told the court that the suspect could not stop doing the act, despite the desperate call from the girl until he finished having carnal knowledge of her. Both Banda and Piri are pupils at the Taferansoni Day Secondary School and renting boarding houses in nearby places. The matter was then reported to their parents, who decided to resolve the matter out of court, but later changed after Banda's family gave the family of the girl a cow that died 2 days after their settlement. It was at this point that the matter was reported to police on 18th April 2023 to seek legal redress. Police charged Banda with indecent assault contrary to Section 137 of the Penal Code, Chapter 87, as read with Act Number 15 of 2005 of the Laws of Zambia, due to the late presentation of facts to relevant authorities, including the hospital. Banda pleaded guilty to the offense and said he had always wanted Piri to be his girlfriend. He said Piri consented to the sexual act that happened. He further told the court that at first the complainant did not complain, but only changed later when she discovered that some girls learned that she had sex in the boarding house. The complainant refused having consented to the act, stating that it was the reason she had to call for help. Magistrate Fred Musaka has since called for more witnesses in the court in order to arrive at a fair judgment on the matter and adjourned the case to 19th September 2023 for continued trial. That story brings us to the end of the news, but before we go, a recap of stories that made headlines. Over 9.1 million kwacha to be spent on dam construction. Rural Electrification Authority commissions Salamano Grid Intensification Project. Kamalata wants teamwork between provincial administration and Lusaka South Multi-Facility Economic Zone. Plus, Zambia Council for Social Development expects increased social sector funding. That's all we could package in this bulletin. Join us again for more news next time. On behalf of the entire production team, this has been Michelle Olvinda. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye and God bless.